Sing something like.
Pare que mi vida conversar con los recuerdos, pena de esperarte y de llorar en este encierro. Or, con este tango que es perdón y compadrito, sea toda sola la ambición de mi suburbio. Con este tango nació el tango y como un grito salió del sordido variar buscando cielo. Or, yo divino el parpadeo de las luces que a lo lejos van marcando mi retorno. Son la misma que alumbraron con su pálido reflejo hondas horas de dolor. Y aunque no quise el regreso, siempre se vuelve al primer amor. And so on.
So, those times are about to change.
So, as part of the study that Gusev worked on here, I handled primary. It probably works with the introduction. So we're going to be demonstrating how you can take a conventional audio editing software like Reaper or even Audacity or pick your own choice of editor software, and along with using machine learning to basically breathe new life back into old songs, or in some cases just replace the singer entirely. Of course, treat the rights of the art of the original singer, artist, all that with respect. That doesn't have to be said, but of course. So for the specialized side, we were using SolveVC C voice conversion fork. That is not a very fun word to say all at once. And Gusev used RVC for extracting the instruments and
the acapella tracks.
Gusev used Reaper in order to make the final mix of all the various tracks, with the subbed-in voice, which we'll present later in the presentation here. I personally use Audacity just for creating quick clips and just doing quick edits and just to send back for feedback. But Audacity is also good if you want to just mix several tracks together. It's a good general purpose.
And it's free.
Yeah. It's free.
Free 99.
Reaper is not free, but it's quite affordable.
Right.
Yeah. Audacity are free as in beer. So SolveVC is where I'm the name.
Soviets as VC. I remember Soviets as Soviets. I am that.
It's written in Python. It was originally maintained by the SCVC develop team, but it was archived. I didn't do any. Didn't look into the history on why. I just, when I was first given the repo, I was just told publicly archived. I was like, all right. But conveniently, they provided some links to projects that that continued on with the project. So, which brings us to a fork by voice call, and according to Gusev, apparently powers a Discord server called AI World. Primarily, this was written by Chinese developers, and they wanted to make their favorite anime characters sing whatever song they liked. So that was the primary goal of this entire project. So in this case, we're actually now using actual people in the actual living people that actually sung, and replacing their voices instead with other people's voices, like I did. And there's an article discussing the showing just bringing to light that hey, there's this is a thing now, and this is how you do it. I was the one who was in charge of getting the voice models to work to jury the voice models. The process is that you have a raw data set. These are the singer you want to be the one that sings. This is like the singer you want to sub in, and you can run it on its words. You require it's a strong enough GPU or a long time on a CPU. Don't advise. It can run. It works really well on NVIDIA. It could run on AMD, but I've had a hard time. AMD hasn't really gotten their stuff together regarding their ROCm compute stuff. It's like my desktop is literally one generation behind for me to use it. So we were given access to the Scholar cluster from Purdue. These come with NVIDIA Tesla's V100s, 16 gigabytes, has about 112 teraflops, if you're curious about that metric. Runs CentOS Linux, and there's a bunch of these clusters. When I was doing training, I actually ended up using two nodes, to do two voice models at the same time. For primarily, in this case, Rafael and Carlos.
Yep, Rafael Rojas and Carlos Gardel.
The project offers like a release, quote unquote, build of the project, but it's really just the Python project all bundled together and some extra supporting stuff. But that's not how I roll. So I put it into an Anaconda in virtual environment. This can also work in Python's built-in VM, but I was given Anaconda on the cluster just gives you the right Python version, because some of these projects are very, very picky about their libraries, and having it be selected correct is what so this is probably for you, since you're the one that uses
Yes, thank you. So I used RVC, and this is also fork based on Solvitz. They built a web interface around it, and it was used in our project. It has a bunch of cool features. The ones that we used is that it allowed us to separate a cappella voice from the instrumental track. And another is the feature that allowed us to then de-echo and de-reverb the a cappella track, because that would give us the input from which we would build the models. So we cleaned up this way and produced, I think, 13 a cappella tracks of Carlos Gardel and more, maybe 20 tracks of Rafael Rojas.
Yeah, because when I was doing the generation, I kind of wanted to see how it progressed. So I guess I kind of glossed over that. In order to get a good model that sounds pretty decent or objectively good, takes a lot of generations. I think the original target was 1,000 generations, and that took about I want to say overnight. But now it generates a good model there. But in order to continue getting it good, you just keep generating, which ended up being the target of 10,000. But every about, I think it was 50, then 100, then 200, 500, then 1,000 onward, where I would, not manually, I actually wrote a script to do this by me, because, hey, I'm a Linux person. If I can write a shell script to do it for me, I'm going to do that. So when it got to those targets, it would stop, take a test file that I selected, infer, which is the lingo in order to sub out a different voice, on a test file, save it, and then we just had a whole collection of these different files, so we can kind of listen to how it sounded from the low generation counts to the target 10,000.
Yeah, and to make it clear, that product was not used to do that. That product is showing now the portion of its web UI that here can separate initially the a cappella tracks from the instrumental tracks, place it in those two different folders. And also, if you change the option here, it can take the resulting a cappella track and de-echo and de-reverb it.
Unfortunately for me, I had to do everything in the command line, but then again, I live in the command line, so it's all fun.
And then Reaper was used to remix back the instrumental track and merge it with the inferred a cappella track.
Yes.
Well, Reaper has useful filters there, like the compressor to compress the aggressive vocals and other stuff. The filter that would let us remove the background noise. The equalizer, I hope people recognize what that is. Also something to deal with reverberation. We can put reverberation back according to the set size of the room. And Jarrod used Audacity.
Yeah, personally, I use Audacity for my own audio projects every once in a while. It is a very, just a generally like good audio workstation. If you just need, it's not like a DAW where you can where you can like do MIDI and set up sequences and all that stuff. But if you just need to cut audio up or apply various filters, you can just visit the Audacity wiki if you want to learn all the various little things that you can do and what other people have done with it. Again, it's free. You can download it on. It's available on Linux, Windows. If it compiles it like to whatever architecture you use, it'll work. And this is the Audacity interface and for giggles.
Yeah, it's just a screenshot of the interface.
And you can also do the the fun
type today. It's hard trying to type without actually seeing the output you're writing.
mistype. Oh, I mistyped it all wrong.
Okay.
Blame it on the rain.
Using NixOS lets you just summon packages out of the blue and use them immediately. And just gonna get ready for it to come through. Normally it's a lot quicker than that, but if it doesn't appear in the next few seconds, I'm just going to cancel it. Do the thing. Okay, that was it. No, I tried doing that. Yeah, I tried. Back to the presentation.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, before we do the conclusions, I think we should play some music.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fortunately, I still have that over here, so.
These conclusions are also pretty brief and generic, so we'll tell you more. We'll tell you some details of what came up.
Somewhere, actually. I don't know why I decided this was a good idea, but well, we're doing it. That reminds me, where do I stuff those things? There it is, mixed. Which one do I try? You want to try Carlos or Raphael? Any preference?
Well, I was gonna. There's a duo there that you can play. Let's play the duo. Carlos Gardel and Rafael Rojas, who was known as El Gardel Chileno, the Chilean Gardel, are going to sing a duo, and they will sing El Choclo together, a song that they never sang. Neither of them. Tita Merello and Alberto Castillo sang that song, but they didn't. Let's go ahead.
tanto que es burlón y compadrito, que alborota la misión de mi suburbio. Con este canto nació el tango y como un delito, salió del sórdido variar buscando el cielo. Con pura extraño de un amor hecho cadencia, que abrió caminos sin manejo de esperanza. Descladerame de dolor de ciencia, llorando en la inocencia de un ritmo juguetón. Por tu milagro de notas agoneras nacieron sin pensarlo las paicas y las gredas, donde los charcos caen en las caderas y una ansia fiera en la manera de querer. Al evocarte, tanto querido, siento que tiemblan las baldosas de un bailongo y oigo el resondo de mi pasado. Hoy que no tengo más a mi madre, siento que llega en punta de pie para besarme, cuando el canto nace al son del bandoneón. Carancan funfacios al mar con tu carrera, y aún un verano mezcló en París con Fuencarcina. Dice compadre del gavión y de la mina, y hasta comadre del bacán y la nevera, por vos. Chuleta canario en mi llanura, se hicieron rosas al placer con tu destino. Mis espaldas quedó sin tajo y cuchillo, que ardió en los correntillos, que ardió en mi corazón. Por tu milagro de nodas agoneras nacieron sin pensarlo las paicas y las gredas, donde los charcos caen en las caderas y una ansia fiera en la manera de querer. Al evocarte, tanto querido, siento que tiemblan las baldosas de un bailongo cuando tu canto nace el show de un bandoneón.
And so if this were the only thing we tried, we might be happy, like, yeah, the modals work. They sing a duo, and,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. Of course, as I started looking into the project, there's also a bunch of different tweakables. You can actually apply a pre-train to it to do some extra work in order to get the data set in a much more clear way, or just basically give you better results out of the get-go. But this is just straight up, I dropped the data set into it, ran the commands as instructed in the project, and then just set fire to the GPUs for about 2 or 3 days.
Okay, now let's try Volver. So Volver is another famous tango song that both of them sang. And that's the one that I tried to sing at the beginning of it, and so it's then in the middle somewhere it's
Volver con la frente marchita, la nieves del tiempo platearon mi sien. Sentir que es un soplo la vida, que 20 años no es nada, que febril la mirada, errante en las sombras te busca y te nombra. Vivir con el alma aferrada a un dulce recuerdo que lloro otra vez.
So there's some portions there like volver, sentir, vivir, where it's important to be on key, but we will demonstrate now that, let's roll that other one, where the modal will go off key. I assure you it's not me, I listen.
I was trying to see if my phone could
So that was that other file.
Right.
camino el parpadeo de las luces que a lo lejos van marcando mi recuerdo. Son la misma que nombraron con su pálido reflejos hondas horas de dolor. Y aunque no quise el regreso, siempre se vuelve al primer amor. La vieja calle donde le conozco, tuya es su vida, tuya es su querer. Bajo el burlón mirar de las estrellas que con indiferencia hoy me ven volver. Con la frente marchita, las nieves del tiempo vaciaron mi sien. Sentir que es un soplo la vida, que 20 años no es nada, que te brilla mi vida, te canta en la sombra, te busca y te nombra. Con el alma cerrada, aún dulce recuerdo que lloro otra vez.
We may stop this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, it's not always perfect. It goes off key, but that can be fixed. For instance, in Reaper, you can select a portion and adjust the key. This can be tuned.
Yeah. You could either from like the source and maybe try to. It could probably do it either way. Either you fix the result, or you can try to see if you can do something with the source to tune it in the right way. That's the fun thing about stuff like this. You can just try stuff.
Yeah. So then we found the guy who can like totally beat the model. This is my Chilean friend San, who is a professional tango singer. So let me find out where I have this project. Recent with. Okay, so what should be. I'm just playing things in Reaper now that. Oh, probably. It shouldn't go.
Tarde que me invita a conversar con los recuerdos de despertarme y de llorar en este cielo sin encontrarte cuando moriré. Quiero verte una vez más. Hasta mirar y extasiar tu realidad de tu pupila. Quiero verte una vez más. Aunque me digas que ya todo venido y es inútil remover la ceniza del amor. Quiero verte una vez más. Estoy tan triste que no puedo recordar por qué te fuiste. Quiero verte una vez más. Quiero morir. Nunca quise sentir
give you the idea of what the guy did. So we're thankful. So let's then try, what the model would do. Or do I have it there too also? I may have. Right.
The information copies or?
That stuff. One of them, right? One of the-
Oh, I have a copy of those.
Oh, okay. Maybe you can play that if you can quickly find it because it will be louder and more obvious.
Go on.
What happens? It's not just they'll go off key. You'll hear it. It's gonna be interesting. It's one of those upper ones. Quiero verte una vez más. That's the song.
This one, right, Carlos?
Yeah, let's do this. They both will fail in a similar way because those two voices are pretty similar, actually. That's why they quote Rafael Rojas, Chilean Gardel.
Oh, because I think there's like some silence, wasn't
Yeah,
there?
there is some silence at the beginning. That's okay. Silence.
Hoy un recuerdo en esperarte y decorar
Oh.
en este encierro donde mi murmuro
Oh.
sin encontrarte día a día cuando
See.
You get the idea.
Okay, stop this.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get the idea. All right, let's play all of them all at once. Okay, you probably can't fix it in post. That is something wrong at the fundamental level.
Yeah, it's not just changing the key. That won't do it.
Yeah, wasn't it because it was a very high tone? High pitch.
Well, he's also doing this vibrato,
Vibrato that's coming out all.
and that poses a challenge apparently to the model. Well, that's what we found
Vibrato
out.
can't keep up with the vibrato.
Maybe open up generations, or maybe probably trying one of the pre-trained so you could really get better results. But
They were trying to teach me how to do vibrato, but they haven't succeeded yet.
Not at all.
It's not easy.
Vibrato?
Vibrato is not easy. You look like you can do it well.
I say too much vibrato.
Yeah, I said too much vibrato. Yeah.
Kill the vibrato, make it flat. I was like, I've
Just
never
keep
written a
it.
song without a lot of vibrato.
Yeah, sometimes too much vibrato.
yeah, it's like ridiculous notes regarding me having to.
Yeah, how are we doing on time?
Sorry, I'm paying attention.
You can view it on here.
About 2:38.
Oh, we're good on
Yeah,
time.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
We have time before conclusions and questions, so
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I have made a lot of notes regarding how to get this all working on our on the Scholar system and everything. And again, I live in the terminal. I don't like getting my documents mangled by Word and anything else, so I just wrote it in Markdown, and this is just a rendered view of it. So this is just all the various notes I took about that I had order to all the notes I had to do, all the little tiny little clutches I had to do since when you connect to Scholar, you can connect using the gateway, but I prefer having a terminal. This also gives me the access just to send files back and forth using my local computer, or SCP, which is just secure shell files, transfer, stuff like that. But when you connect to it, it's usually through a round robin, but if you can take note, it's a host name, whatever, note of it, take note of it, connect to it like that, and you can keep connecting to that same host name, which lets you connect to the same node that's actually doing the actual processing, which is important because if you're trying to check your progress, it's very hard to try and check your progress if you're not on the right node that actually is running the thing. Yeah, you have to load up some modules. Having to create the virtual environment so it doesn't clobber the home because it's just a disaster otherwise. Cloning project, installing all the dependencies, documenting the data set layout. I probably might even see if I can put these notes somewhere a bit more accessible. Pre-training, I inferred FFmpeg might be used. It's been heavily implied that's using in there, and I believe when I was downloading the release zips they give you, they throw in a copy of FFmpeg in there, so I took it as a sign. FFmpeg. Since primarily in the like the setup before the pre-split, it's basically going through the audio clips, your data set, and finding silence, removing that silence, and just giving you a bunch of sliced up files which actually have the voice actually singing instead of it being trained on silence. You have to do some resampling, set up the config, which just describes what you need, how to, the various parameters you can do, and training it. I had to tune the batch size a bit so it can run as fast as possible. This is just basically just trying to run as many. Why should I know? I can't remember the verbiage off the top of my head. It's basically it just speeds up the generation process, which I assume is just basically like running more jobs at the same time. I had to tune it just right, otherwise it would just crash the program, but out of memory. We're going to train, and after all that hard work, you can simply use SVC infer your original file, and then you just specify your output file. It also does support it does support doing live, because it's able to do this relatively quickly if you have a model already pre-trained. Training the model is what takes the longest of time. Inferring from it just takes an entire fraction of it. I got around approximately, it says right here, about like 3 minutes. Can be done in like 30 seconds with it. So it's able to actually do this at real time. It even has a real time option, but I am running it on a server that is all the way in West Lafayette, and I don't really want to try figuring it out how to speak into my microphone at the desktop and have it appear immediately. It's probably going to be some pulse audio shenanigans that I do not want to touch. But the remark I did make is that when I was listening through the tracks, and every once in a while I kind of was like, I think a lot of the works was kind of like over like old media, grainy media and such like that. If I remember correctly, a lot of the data set stuff. Oh, it was clean?
Well, there were some noisier tracks, I think, among those. So we were previously discussed how we could use this tool because we're looking into legit uses of what is notorious for deep fakes, some of which are malevolent, to use this for preservation of cultural heritage. And they're indeed noisy records of singers of the past, which can be cleaned up with well-built models for better preservation of their inheritance.
Yeah, there's only notes regarding matter.
So we could, maybe move to conclusions and kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Conclusion slide. We have QR codes if you want to connect on LinkedIn and such.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess we're now open up to questions, I suppose.
Pretty much so, yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you can stop the recording.